My boyfriend of 10 years decided to take over my best friend's wedding and propose to me. But he got the shock of his life when I dumped him instead and kicked him out of my house. My best friend Amy just got married last week. I was her maid of honor, and I worked to the bone to make sure her wedding was a success. For the most part, it did go well. My friend looked beautiful, the food was great, and the flowers and decorations were incredible. She was so happy, and it made me feel proud. I was part of the group that worked to give her such an important day. Amy and I have been friends since we were in elementary school. We've reached all our milestones together. We went to the same college and even live in the same neighborhood. She's the closest I have to a sister, and even our parents joke that we were born twins. Needless to say, Amy is one of the most important people in my life. At the end of my master's, I met Danny. He hired me as a tutor, and after a few sessions, asked me out. I had never dated someone younger, but he was very sweet, and I liked him, so I said yes. We've been together since. He had an older brother, Bobby, who was introduced to Amy at a house party I hosted a few years later. The two were immediately taken with each other, and they started to date. Eventually, Bobby asked Amy to marry him. During the wedding preparation, Danny casually mentioned how it would be a cute idea to propose during his brother's wedding. Bobby agreed, but both Amy and I immediately shut it down. I told Danny I found that kind of thing tacky. A person's wedding is a special day for them, and tainting it with stealing the attention was just wrong. After that, they stopped talking about it, so we kept going with the preparations. At the wedding reception, Bobby suddenly stopped the music to make an announcement. He said the day was very special as he was marrying the love of his life and kept singing praises to Annie. I thought it was a cute gesture, so I just moved to sit on my chair to listen to the speech. Then Bobby said a sentence that made me dread what was coming. And now the day is more special thanks to my brother's announcement. Suddenly, Danny was in front of me, kneeling with a box. Amy was in tears and ran out. I screamed at Danny, telling him he was a jerk, and went after Amy. At first, she was angry at me, thinking I was involved in it. So were the other bridesmaids. Thankfully, one of the girls had seen me call out Danny and told the others about it. I told Amy I would never do this to her. We hugged, and we all got out of the venue to Amy's suite. We found out later through the men's mother that Bobby gave Danny permission without speaking to Amy about it. I called Danny that same night to tell him we were through, and I wanted him out of my apartment by the end of the week. I sent my mom to pick up my dog and parrot just to make sure he didn't do anything to them or take them with him. He ended up taking my TV and game consoles. I had them since before he moved in, but his mother was nice enough to bring the consoles back. For all I care, he can keep the stupid TV. Amy is now trying to get her marriage annulled since she feels she can't trust Bobby. The boy's mother has been nothing but a saint to us. She even paid back to Amy the money she spent on the wedding and told her to use the honeymoon with one of her friends. So Amy and I are now packing to go to Australia. She and Bobby had postponed it for a month so they could get a whole month of vacation. I am a freelancer that works from home, so I'll just take my laptop. Since this whole fiasco, Danny has been blowing up my phone. Some of his friends have joined in too, claiming I'm in a hole for throwing out a 10-year relationship over a mistake that he only wanted to make a cute gesture to prove how much he loves me. Except the cute gesture was taking over my best friend's wedding after I had said how much I disliked that kind of stuff. Still, a part of me feels I'm overreacting. Danny continued to bombard me with messages, pleading for another chance. He sent long paragraphs detailing how he was only trying to show his love in a grand gesture, but every word felt like a reminder of his selfishness. I couldn't shake the image of Amy's tear-streaked face, her special day overshadowed by an event she had no control over. Amy, on the other hand, was having a hard time coping with the betrayal. Bobby's decision to side with Danny and proceed with the proposal without consulting her had shattered her trust. She spent countless nights crying on my shoulder, questioning every aspect of their relationship, The annulment process was taking its toll on her, but she remained resolute. We promised each other that we would support one another through this challenging period. As the weeks went by, the reality of single life began to set in. I felt a mix of liberation and sadness. Liberated from the burden of a relationship that no longer served me, but sad because of the time I had invested in Danny. I decided to channel my energy into work and self-improvement. I signed up for a cooking class, joined a local gym, and even started volunteering at an animal shelter. Amy and I attended a few therapy sessions together to help us process the trauma and rebuild our confidence. One evening, as Amy and I were preparing for our upcoming trip to Australia, we received a surprise visit from Bobby's mother. She had been a pillar of support for both of us, and this time she brought along a letter from Bobby. In it, he apologized profusely for his actions and acknowledged the pain he had caused. He explained that he had been pressured by Danny and didn't realize the full impact it would have on Amy. He expressed his love for her and his regret over the situation, but Amy was steadfast in her decision. She knew that rebuilding trust would be an uphill battle, and she wasn't willing to put herself through more heartache. The trip to Australia was a breath of fresh air. We explored the vibrant cities, soaked in the stunning beaches, and immersed ourselves in the rich culture. It was the perfect escape, a chance to leave behind our worries and rediscover our joy. We laughed, cried, and reminisced about our shared memories, strengthening our bond even further. Upon returning home, I found a package waiting for me. It was from Danny. Inside was a handwritten letter and a small box. The letter was another apology, filled with remorse and pleas for forgiveness. The box contained a necklace with a pendant shaped like a heart. While his gesture was sweet, I knew it was time to move on. I decided to donate the necklace to a local charity, hoping it would bring joy to someone else. Life gradually returned to a new normal. Amy started dating again, cautiously but optimistically. I focused on my career, taking on new projects and expanding my network. I even reconnected with some old friends, rekindling relationships that had faded over time. One day, while browsing a bookstore, I bumped into an old college friend, Mark. We chatted about our lives and caught up on lost time. Mark had always been a kind and thoughtful person, and our conversations flowed effortlessly. We exchanged numbers and began meeting up regularly. Our friendships slowly blossomed into something more, and I found myself opening up to the possibility of love again. As I reflected on the past year, I realized how much I had grown. The experience with Danny had been painful, but it had also taught me valuable lessons about self-worth and boundaries. I was no longer willing to settle for less than I deserved. My relationship with Amy was stronger than ever, and we both learned the importance of standing up for ourselves. Now, as I look towards the future, I feel a sense of hope and excitement. I know there will be challenges ahead, but I am confident in my ability to navigate them with grace and resilience. And with friends like Amy by my side, I know I am never alone. As the months passed, Amy and I continued to rebuild our lives, finding strength in our friendship and the new paths we were forging. Amy's annulment went through smoothly, and she began a new job that allowed her to travel, something she had always dreamed of. Her newfound independence brought a spark back into her eyes that I hadn't seen in a long time. Mark and I grew closer, our bond deepening with each passing day. He was patient and understanding, never pushing me to move faster than I was comfortable with. Our relationship felt like a breath of fresh air, a stark contrast to the turmoil I had experienced with Danny. We enjoyed simple pleasures together, long walks, cooking meals, and cozy movie nights. It was a slow and steady love that felt right in every way. One weekend, Amy and I decided to take a spontaneous road trip. We packed our bags, hopped into my car, and set off with no specific destination in mind. We sang along to our favorite songs, shared stories from our childhood, and reveled in the freedom of the open road. It was a reminder of the carefree days we had shared before life's complications took over. We stumbled upon a charming small town with quaint shops and a picturesque lake. We spent the day exploring, buying trinkets, and savoring the local cuisine. As the sun set, we found a spot by the lake and sat down, taking in the serene beauty of our surroundings. Annie turned to me with a smile and said, "I think we're going to be okay. Better than okay." Our trip became a cherished memory, a symbol of our resilience and the new beginnings we were embracing. Upon returning home, I decided to start a blog to document my journey of self-discovery and personal growth. Writing became a therapeutic outlet for me, and I was surprised by how many people resonated with my story. My blog quickly gained a following, and I found myself connecting with others who had gone through similar experiences. Mark was incredibly supportive of my blogging venture, often encouraging me to share more and offering valuable feedback. His belief in me boosted my confidence, and I began to explore other creative outlets as well. I took up photography, capturing moments of beauty and joy in my daily life. Each new hobby added layers to my healing process and enriched my life in unexpected ways. Ami's dating life also took an interesting turn. She met someone through her travels, a kind-hearted man named Jack, who shared her love for adventure and spontaneity. Their connection was instant, and I could see the happiness he brought into her life. It was heartwarming to see Amy finally finding the love and companionship she deserved. One evening, Mark and I were having dinner at my place when he pulled out a small velvet box. My heart skipped a beat, memories of Danny's ill-fated proposal flashing through my mind. But as Mark opened the box, I saw not a ring, but a delicate bracelet with a charm that read strength. "I know what you went through with Danny," he said softly, "and I don't want to rush you or make any grand gestures that you're not ready for. This bracelet is just a reminder of how strong you are and how far you've come." Tears welled up in my eyes as I hugged him, overwhelmed by his thoughtfulness and understanding. It was a small gesture, but it meant the world to me. It was a symbol of the respect and patience that defined our relationship. As my blog continued to grow, I was invited to speak at a local women's empowerment conference. The opportunity both excited and terrified me, but I knew it was a chance to share my story on a larger platform. I spent weeks preparing, crafting a speech that was honest and heartfelt. The day of the conference arrived, and I stood in front of a room full of women, sharing my journey from heartbreak to healing. I spoke about the importance of self-love, setting boundaries, and finding strength in adversity. The response was overwhelming, and I was approached by many attendees who thanked me for my vulnerability and courage. One of the women who approached me was a publisher who expressed interest in turning my blog into a book. The idea thrilled me, and we began discussing the possibilities. It felt like everything was falling into place, and I was finally living a life that was true to myself. Amy and Jack's relationship blossomed, and they decided to move in together. I was ecstatic for her, and we celebrated the occasion with a small gathering of friends. The laughter and joy that filled the room were a testament to how far we had both come. Mark and I continued to grow as a couple, our bond deepening with each shared experience. We talked about our future, dreams, and aspirations. I felt a sense of peace and fulfillment that I had never experienced before. One night, as we lay under the stars on a blanket in my backyard, Mark turned to me and said, "I know we've been taking things slow, but I want you to know that I see a future with you. I love you, and I'm willing to wait as long as it takes for you to feel the same." His words filled me with warmth, and I realized that I did love him. It wasn't a love born out of desperation or fear of being alone. It was a love that had grown from friendship, trust, and mutual respect. I turned to him and whispered, "I love you too." Our journey wasn't perfect, and there were still challenges to face, but with Mark by my side and Amy as my constant support, I knew I had the strength to navigate whatever came my way. Life had taught me that even in the darkest times, there was always a glimmer of hope, a chance for new beginnings. As I worked on my book and continued to share my story, I felt a sense of purpose and fulfillment. I was no longer defined by my past or my heartbreak. I was a woman who had found her voice, her strength, and her path to happiness. And for the first time in a long time, I looked forward to the future with excitement and optimism. A few months later, my book was published. It was surreal to hold a copy in my hands, a tangible representation of my journey and resilience. The book launch event was an emotional affair, with friends, family, and readers who had followed my blog coming together to celebrate. Amy was there, of course, beaming with pride, and Mark stood by my side, his support unwavering. The response to my book was overwhelming. I received countless messages from readers who found solace and inspiration in my words. Many shared their own stories of heartbreak and healing, creating a community of support and empowerment. It was heartwarming to see the impact my story had on others, and it motivated me to continue writing and speaking about my experiences. As my career flourished, Mark and I decided to take the next step in our relationship. We moved in together, combining our lives and creating a home filled with love and laughter. We spent our weekends exploring new places, trying new activities, and building a life that was uniquely ours. The harmony and joy we found in each other were unlike anything I had ever experienced before. Amy and Jack's relationship continued to thrive. They traveled together, embarking on adventures that brought them closer. Their love for each other was evident, and it was clear that they were meant to be. Seeing Amy so happy and fulfilled brought me immense joy, and I was grateful for the bond we shared. One evening, while Mark and I were enjoying a quiet dinner at home, he surprised me with a heartfelt proposal. It wasn't a grand, public gesture like Danny's ill-fated attempt. Instead, it was intimate and sincere, a reflection of our relationship. He knelt down with a simple yet elegant ring and said, "I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Will you marry me?" Tears of happiness streamed down my face as I said yes. It was a moment of pure love and commitment, and I couldn't have asked for anything more. We celebrated with a quiet toast, basking in the joy of our engagement and the future that lay ahead. Our wedding planning was a joyous affair. Amy was my maid of honor, and we worked together to create a celebration that reflected our love and personalities. The day of the wedding arrived, and as I walked down the aisle, I felt a sense of peace and fulfillment. Mark stood at the altar, his eyes filled with love and adoration. It was a beautiful ceremony, surrounded by our closest friends and family. As we exchanged vows, I couldn't help but reflect on the journey that had brought us here. The heartbreak, the struggles, and the moments of doubt had all led to this moment of pure happiness. Our love was built on a foundation of trust, respect, and understanding, and I knew that we were ready to face whatever the future held. After the wedding, we embarked on a honeymoon to Italy, a dream destination for both of us. We explored the romantic streets of Venice, savored the delicious cuisine of Tuscany, and marveled at the historical wonders of Rome. It was a magical trip, filled with unforgettable memories and a deeper connection between us. Upon returning home, we settled into married life with ease. We continued to support each other's dreams and aspirations, always finding time for the simple pleasures that brought us joy. Our home was filled with love, laughter, and the promise of a bright future. As the years went by, our family grew. We welcomed a beautiful baby girl into our lives, and she became the center of our world. Parenthood brought new challenges and joys, and Mark and I navigated them together with love and patience. Watching our daughter grow and discover the world was a source of endless happiness. Amy and Jack remained a constant presence in our lives. They got married a year after us, in a beautiful ceremony that celebrated their unique love story. We continued to share our lives, supporting each other through the ups and downs. Our bond was unbreakable, forged through years of friendship and shared experiences. One evening, as we sat around a bonfire in our backyard, Annie turned to me with a smile. "We've come a long way, haven't we?" she said, her eyes reflecting the flickering flames. I nodded, feeling a wave of gratitude wash over me. We have, and I wouldn't change a thing. The journey from heartbreak to healing had been long and challenging, but it had led me to a life filled with love, purpose, and fulfillment. I had found my voice, my strength, and a love that was true and unwavering. And as I looked around at the faces of those I held dear, I knew that I was exactly where I was meant to be. Years continued to pass, and our lives remained intertwined with the fabric of family, friendship, and growth. Mark and I settled into our roles as parents, watching our daughter blossom into a curious and intelligent young girl. Her laughter filled our home, and her boundless energy reminded us of the simple joys in life. We celebrated her milestones together, from her first steps to her first day at school, always cherishing these moments as a family. Amy and Jack, too, found their own rhythm. They welcomed a son into their lives, and our children became the best of friends, much like Amy and I had been. Our weekends often turned into family gatherings, filled with barbecues, picnics, and shared adventures. The bond between our families grew stronger with each passing year, rooted in love and mutual respect. My writing career continued to thrive, and I published several more books. Each one delved deeper into themes of resilience, love, and personal growth. My readers connected with my stories, finding pieces of their own journeys within the pages. I travel for book tours and speaking engagements, sharing my experiences and encouraging others to embrace their own paths to healing and fulfillment. Mark, ever the supportive partner, pursued his own dreams. He opened a small restaurant, combining his passion for cooking with his business acumen. The restaurant quickly became a local favorite, known for its warm atmosphere and delicious food. We often spent evenings there, surrounded by friends and family, enjoying the fruits of his labor. Despite the busyness of our lives, Mark and I always made time for each other. We took weekend getaways, exploring new places and rekindling the romance that had brought us together. Our love continued to deepen, a steady anchor amidst the ever-changing tides of life. One summer, we decided to take a family trip to the mountains. We rented a cabin by a serene lake, nestled in the heart of nature. It was a chance to disconnect from the daily grind and reconnect with each other. We spent our days hiking, swimming, and simply enjoying the tranquility of our surroundings. One evening, as the sun set over the lake, casting a golden glow on the water, Mark and I sat on the porch, watching our daughter play by the shore. He turned to me with a thoughtful expression. "I've been thinking about something," he said softly. I looked at him, curiosity piqued. "What is it?" "I want to expand the restaurant," he said. "I've been dreaming about opening another location, maybe in a different city. But I don't want to do it without your support." I smiled, feeling a surge of pride for him. "Mark, I believe in you. If this is what you want, then I'm with you all the way." We spent the rest of the evening discussing his plans, laying out ideas and possibilities. It was exciting to dream together, to envision the future and all the opportunities it held. The following months were a whirlwind of planning and preparation, but we faced it all as a team, our love and partnership stronger than ever. As the years went on, we continued to grow, both individually and together. Our daughter blossomed into a talented and compassionate young woman, pursuing her own dreams with the same determination we had instilled in her. We watched with pride as she navigated the world, confident in her abilities and grounded in our love. Amy and Jack remained our closest friends, their own family thriving alongside ours. We celebrated birthdays, anniversaries, and holidays together, each occasion a reminder of the enduring bonds we shared. Our lives were woven together in a beautiful tapestry of friendship, love, and mutual support. Reflecting on the journey, I realized how far we had come. From the heartbreak and betrayal of the past, we had built a life filled with love, joy, and purpose. The challenges we faced only made us stronger, and the love we shared was a testament to our resilience and commitment. One evening, as we sat by the fireplace, reminiscing about the past, Mark took my hand. "I'm so grateful for you," he said. "For our family, our life, everything we've built together." I squeezed his hand, feeling a deep sense of contentment. "And I am grateful for you. For your love, your support, and for always believing in us. In that moment, I knew that our journey was far from over. There would be more adventures, more challenges, and more moments of pure joy. But no matter what the future held, we would face it together, with love as our guiding light. And for that, I was eternally grateful. As the years continued to roll by, our lives evolved in ways we could never have imagined. Our daughter, now a young adult, embarked on her own journey of discovery and growth. She chose to attend a prestigious university, pursuing a degree in environmental science. Her passion for protecting the planet and her determination to make a difference filled us with pride. We supported her every step of the way, knowing that her path would lead to incredible things. Mark's restaurant expansion was a resounding success. The new location thrived, becoming a beloved spot in the community. His dedication and hard work paid off, and he even received recognition in several culinary magazines. We celebrated his achievements with friends and family, toasting to his vision and perseverance. Despite his busy schedule, he always made time for us, ensuring that our family remained his top priority. Amy and Jack's family grew too. They welcomed another child, a beautiful baby girl, who quickly became a cherished member of our extended family. Our children grew up together, their bonds mirroring the deep friendship between Amy and me. We often joked that our families were one big, happy clan, always there for each other through thick and thin. My writing continued to flourish. I explored new genres and took on projects that challenged me creatively. One of my novels was even adapted into a movie, a surreal experience that brought my stories to a broader audience. Watching my characters come to life on the big screen was a dream come true. I used my platform to advocate for causes close to my heart, donating proceeds to environmental conservation and literacy programs. Despite our successes, life wasn't without its challenges. My mother fell ill, and we faced the difficult task of caring for her while balancing our busy lives. It was a trying time, but it brought our family even closer together. Mark and I took turns caring for her, ensuring she received the best medical attention and all the love she needed. Our daughter often visited, her compassionate nature shining through as she helped her grandmother with daily tasks and provided emotional support. During this period, I found solace in my writing. I poured my heart into a memoir, capturing the essence of our journey, the love and resilience that defined our family. Writing became a therapeutic outlet, helping me process the complex emotions and find strength in our shared experiences. The memoir resonated with readers, many of whom reached out to share their own stories of perseverance and hope. One particularly poignant moment came when my daughter returned home for a holiday break. She sat with me in the living room, flipping through old photo albums. We laughed at the memories, reminiscing about her childhood adventures and the milestones we had celebrated together. "Mom," she said, her voice tinged with emotion, "I want you to know how much you and Dad mean to me. You've always been my rock, my inspiration. I wouldn't be who I am today without your love and support." Tears welled in my eyes as I held her tightly. "And you, my dear, have always been our greatest joy. We're so proud of the person you've become." Our conversation drifted to her future plans. She expressed a desire to travel and work on environmental projects around the world. It was a bittersweet moment, knowing she would soon spread her wings and soar to new heights, but also feeling immense pride in her determination to make a difference. As she prepared to embark on her journey, we hosted a farewell gathering, inviting friends and family to celebrate her achievements and wish her well. Amy, Jack, and their children were there, along with our close-knit community. It was a joyous occasion filled with laughter, love, and heartfelt speeches. We toasted to her future, confident that she would continue to shine brightly wherever she went. In the quieter moments, Mark and I often found ourselves reflecting on the passage of time. We had weathered storms, celebrated triumphs, and built a life rich in love and experiences. Our journey was far from over, and we looked forward to the adventures that awaited us in the years to come. One autumn evening, As we sat on our porch, wrapped in the warmth of a shared blanket, Mark turned to me with a thoughtful expression. "You know," he said, "I've been thinking about our next chapter. Maybe it's time for us to explore new horizons, too." I looked at him, intrigued. "What do you have in mind?" "Travel," he said with a smile. "Let's take some time for ourselves. We've spent so many years building this life, raising our daughter, and supporting our friends. Let's see the world, experience new cultures, and make new memories together." The idea sparked a sense of excitement within me. "I'd love that," I replied. "Let's make it happen." We began planning our travels, mapping out destinations, and dreaming of the adventures that awaited us. Our first trip was to Europe, where we explored the historic streets of Rome, savored the culinary delights of Paris, and marveled at the natural beauty of the Swiss Alps. Each destination brought us closer together, reminding us of the love and partnership that had carried us through the years. Our travels became a new chapter in our lives, filled with discovery and connection. We documented our journey through photographs and journals, capturing the essence of each place and the moments we shared. It was a time of renewal, a chance to reconnect with each other and the world around us. As the seasons changed, so did our destinations. From the bustling markets of Marrakech to the serene beaches of Bali, we embraced each adventure with open hearts. Along the way, we met incredible people, learned about different cultures, and found inspiration in the beauty of our diverse world. Through it all, our love remained a constant, a beacon guiding us through the ever-changing landscapes of life. And as we stood together, watching yet another breathtaking sunset, I realized that our journey, like the horizon before us, was boundless and full of promise.